Hello, DuPage County Republicans. Kevin Coyne, DuPage chairman, still relatively new chairman, got sworn in at the beginning of January of this year, and eager to come on board. One of the things that I had said when I took the post was that we were going to dramatically uptick communication. I think we've done that on certainly email and social media, and going to try and get more of these videos out just so people know what we're doing on the executive board and what's happening. And I thought, you know, in light of what was an extremely disappointing election night, this would be a good time to get out my first video. And election night was a complete disaster. I don't think there's any other way you can cushion it. It was a terrible night. It was embarrassing. Those of us in leadership should be embarrassed. We have a lot of work to do to turn this county around politically. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I see as being the cause of that election night and what we can do to start working toward fixing it and rebuilding it so we don't see nights like that again. The first most immediate issue that I see as being the biggest problem, quite frankly, by far, is we're getting just decimated with these vote-by-mail ballots. Both, you know, first that was happening in November. They got their Democrat voters signed up for those November cycles. Those same voters are signed up for April cycles now with permanent VBM. So they're voting in April cycles now too. And in April, typically you have very low turnout, right? Turnout amongst the non-VBM voters in DuPage this past Tuesday was 16%. They get almost half, 49% of those VBM voters voted. Those are overwhelmingly Democrat voters. We have to close that VBM gap. There is no get out the vote campaign that's going to be able to trump, you know, their team having all of their electorate pretty much having their ballot delivered to their house, especially in April when you have spring break right there. This year, the election day was on spring break, so you had all kinds of people that were very busy and leaving town or had already left town. We have to close that gap, and I can tell you as a party chairman, that's going to be priority one for me. I'm signing up for permanent vote by mail. I hope you guys do too. I'll still probably vote in person though. You can still vote in person. I'm just going to bring my ballot in to make sure it's secure, and in case anything comes up personally or whatever, everybody has that ballot that they can just mail in if they get too busy to go to the polls. Until we close those ballots, friends, I don't see this ever turning around. It's too much of a sweeping advantage. It's also an advantage for them financially because they don't have to do the door knocking and the chasing that you have to do if you're trying to get people out, you know, by knocking on doors, which I think is becoming increasingly obsoleted by these permanent vote by mail ballots, because I don't think they're knocking on doors like they used to. They're just calling those VBM lists. And friends, it is working. We have to figure out a way to get those numbers closed. I don't know how we're going to get candidates until we get those numbers closed. I've already had a number of people that were interested in running in the next cycle tell me they have a lot of concerns about how far apart those registrants are. They have roughly 2.5 times the number of voters signed up for that. We have to figure out how we're going to close that gap. We have started talking to consultants about it. We're going to be talking on the executive committee level about trying to get some consultant and professional help. But I think the first step is on the leadership level. We have to get our leaders, myself included, your chairman, to be singing the song that we have to accept the fact that voting has changed. And until we get this competitive again on this VBM level, I don't see these being competitive elections. We have to do it. And so we're going to be talking a lot about that in the coming months, and we're going to be doing what we can to close those numbers. The other thing that I want to talk about is, you know, the branding of our candidates, the branding of our party in April. One of the things we see the Democrats do and their candidates, they proudly put their Democrat name on their candidates. Their local parties proudly announcing who their candidates are. I think with some fairness, I've received a number of emails and comments from Republican voters that say, I just don't know who the Republicans even are. A lot of them never say, it's never on their social media or their website. I think that's a fair point to raise. And to speak to it, I know historically it's been very frowned upon for candidates to run partisan type campaigns in April. Well, you can see that the folks on the other team don't play that way. And they are clearly running very partisan campaigns, and obviously it's working. Obviously the voters are open to it. We're going to have to get candidates and campaigns that are a little bit louder about what they're about. And you shouldn't be embarrassed to be a Republican. The county's as strong as it is today, and most of the cities in it are as strong as they are today because of how strong Republican Party's been. We've done a great job here for a great number of years. We need to remind people of that. And this whole thing where I'm Republican, but I'm not going to let anybody know, it's bad politics on top of being bad for our party. The Democrats get backed heavily by their activists. They're not backing you. If you're a nice Republican, a quiet Republican, a loud Republican, it doesn't matter. If you're quiet about it, what you're doing is just facilitating this notion. It's going to be harder for us to rebuild. It's going to be harder for you to get, your base voters out if they're confused as to what you're about. So I really want us to be louder in April cycles in particular about who we're supporting for office. I just think we have to. They played our hand. We got to do it now. I think it's just, again, the reality is elections have changed here on a lot of different levels. We got to get up to speed. The other item I wanted to raise is I've had a number of people comment, why aren't we just sending mailers to everybody to tell them who the candidates are that they should be voting for? How about we send more texts and effectively spend more money? These last few cycles have been very punishing to the GOP. I don't think that's been a secret. It's hurt our fundraising significantly. We're going to be working to rebuild ourselves on a financial level. The Democrats have unions, they have J.B. Pritzker's billions, they have teacher unions, they have personal PAC getting involved locally now, they have congressmen getting involved locally now. They just have a massive financial advantage that we have to figure out how we're going to close. And we're working on getting a membership program put together. We're going to be working on drumming up small donations in a larger level. And we're going to be doing what we can to get creative to try and get more money into this party. We simply have to get that done. And until we get a little bit more equal footing, again, it's going to be really tough. So we're going to be getting some things out. We're going to have our first fundraising event. It's going to roll myself out in probably end of May, June. We're going to do that in Elmhurst, working on location and some other particulars with the exec committee. But I'd look out for that after the Red Gala. And I also want to communicate that we know this has been a frustrating time to be a Republican. We're more frustrated than anybody. We all care greatly about where the county is politically, and we're not giving up. We're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to do what we can to turn this around because we have to. We know what's going to happen to DuPage County if the Democrats control it for much longer. It's going to sink, and it's going to sink fast. There aren't very many parts of our country that are well run in Democrat hands. This will be no different. You can just look to Chicago, Cook, or Springfield and see where that road leads. We have to take this county back, and it's going to take us working together. As leader of the party right now, I hear a lot from the very right side of our party and from the more moderate side. I'm not getting in between that. We need everybody involved. We need to kill the sniping. Grassroots are a pivotal, critical part of this party. You're not going to be able to have functioning campaigns without a strong, loud grassroots base of support. We have to have that. We have to give them respect. They have to have a seat at the table always. And the reality is they're going to be the muscle in our campaigns. The moderate side, grassroots, you have to accept that is largely where our money is going to be coming from. That's where our broader reach is going to be. And we have to be respectful that we're not going to agree 100% of the time on everything. We have to respect and appreciate everybody that's a Republican that's involved in this party. And my approach right now is, if you're a Republican, I don't care how far right or how moderate you are, I'm considering you a friend and an asset to this party that needs to be respected and stay involved. We are not giving up here. We're going to continue to rebuild. We're going to get this ship fixed. We're going to get it more modern, and we're going to do what we can to turn this county around politically. We hope you join us. We hope you don't give up either, and let's all continue to work together and take this county back from these guys. Thank you.